The NCAA men's basketball top 25 ranked by net wins. Forget the AP poll, we ran the numbers. So, on this episode, we'll be using our net wins to look at the top 5 players on each team, the starting lineups, and rank them to give you some idea of whether the AP poll is looking legitimate preseason. So every preseason, the college basketball world lines up behind the familiar names, the Blue Bloods, the defending conference champs, the ESPN darlings, and these rankings get built on reputation, recruiting rankings, and vibes. So we're going to do it a little different. Net wins is a player-level metric that quantifies how many wins above replacement a player contributes based on their statistical footprint of positive contributions, scoring, rebound, assists, steals, and blocks, weighed against negative ones, turnovers, missed shots, and fouls. And we're going to add up each team's starting 5 once again, and you get a real number. How much talent on paper is actually walking onto the floor? So here's this preseason top 25, not ranked by committee, but by projected starting lineup net wins. Number 1, the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 22.54. Nobody's talking about Nebraska enough. Pryce Sandfort is quietly one of the best 2A players in the Big Ten, and Trevan Leonhardt and Sam Orme give them legitimate depth at the top of the lineup. Bowden Kapke is the weak link in the starting 5, but the 4 players around him are legit. Nebraska is a sleeper Big Ten contender and a bubble team at worst. Number 2 is the Florida Gators, 22.31. Todd Golden's Gators are loaded. Alex Condon and Ruben Chenyulu give them a front court that can dominate the boards, while Thomas Haw provides the connective tissue. Boogie Fland at the point gives Florida a legitimate lead guard for the first time in years. This is an SEC contender with Final Four talent if they stay healthy. Number 3, Virginia Cavaliers. Tony Bennett's gone, but the Virginia roster has quietly assembled one of the most statistically loaded starting 5s in the country. DeRitter is a monster on paper, 5.8 net wins from a big as elite production. The team's built to grind and execute exactly what you expect from a program that still has the DNA of the Bennett era. Don't sleep on Virginia. Number 4, the UConn Huskies at 19.76. Hurley's Huskies are reloading. They're not rebuilding. Silas DeMary Jr. is a legitimate breakout candidate at 6.57 net wins. That's a Paige Becker's level impact for a men's player. Lose enough, and even dynasty programs have to prove themselves again, but UConn's metric says they haven't missed a step. Tennessee Volunteers, 19.4. Tennessee's consistently at the top of the SEC. Terrence Hill Jr. is a legitimate all-SEC candidate, and they'll need either Harrelson or Rubin to develop or provide depth from the bench to plug the leagues come March. Michigan State Spartans at 18.86. Izzo Spartans are built the way Izzo always builds them, gritty, balanced, and with at least one guy who will make you pay in the post. Jeremy Fears Jr. leads at 6.32. He's the engine. If he stays healthy and Carr lives up to his recruitment, the Spartans are a top 4 Big Ten seed. Number 7 is the Duke Blue Devils at 18.62. John Shire's figured it out. John Blackwell leads the way at 5.11, and the depth of contribution across all 5 stars is impressive. Nobody's below 2.3. Duke doesn't have a single superstar on the list, but they don't need one. Depth and balance wins in March. Number 8 is the Houston Cougars at 18.3. Kelvin Sampson's quietly built the machine. Delreco Gillespie at 7.21 net wins, and Joseph Tugler at 5.28 give them a front line that will absolutely bully teams in the Big 12. Thomas is a star name, but a below average statistical contributor, talking about Deaton Thomas Jr. at 1.68. The metric suggests Houston wins despite him being the focal point of the offense, not because of it. Number 9 is the Vanderbilt Commodores. The new staff inherits a roster led by Tyler Tanner at 6.83, one of the most productive players in the entire top 25, surrounded by a fairly average group. Ace Glass at 2.34 needs to improve, and Tanner, as mentioned before, is carrying an enormous weight. It's a one-man show with SEC competition. Number 10 is the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State's been playing like a program that belongs on the national stage. Jaquan Johnson at 5.28 leads a forward-heavy group. balanced and tough. Jamarian Bateman is the question mark. And Iowa State needs a good season out of him to compete with the top Big 12 teams. Number 11, the Texas Longhorns at 16.75. Rodney Terry's building something methodical in Austin. David Punch is the most productive player. And Matsas Vokatid, I can't pronounce his last name. Well, let's call him Matsas V. It gives him a skilled forward. The Kentucky Wildcats are at 12 at 16.58. And Milan Momcilovic at 5.41 is the clear standout player. Usmane Njai is the international signee. He's projected at 0. So all freshmen and international signees are projected at 0 until they play. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be outstanding. It's just that we don't have a way to rank them at this time without any good data to go with. This is a very good Kentucky team, but Mark Pope has some work to do to restore Rupp Arena to its former level. Number 13 is the Louisville Cardinals at 16.1. The rebuild is real. Flory Bedunga is the best center nobody's talking about nationally. And if Louisville's going to take the next step, they need other players to produce. Michigan Wolverines at 14 at 15.56. Elliot Cato is one of the most underrated point guards in the country. Transfer who could be an All-American. We also have Brandon McCoy, who's a freshman wild card. And between them, it should be a backcourt that can hang with anyone in the Big Ten. Gonzaga at 15.27. Masamba Diop and Mario St. Supri lead a balanced group that plays the Gonzaga way, skilled, patient, and devastating in the half court. At 16 is the Illinois Fighting Illini at 14.84. Tomislav Ivicic and David Mirkovic anchor the front court. They're a good team, but not a title contender yet. Number 17, the Miami Hurricanes. Shelton Henderson and Acadian Lewis give them a credible nucleus. They have one freshman in Caleb Gaskins. And Henderson's a legitimate ACC difference maker if he stays healthy all season. Number 18, the Alabama Crimson Tide at 14.58. Amani Allen and Aiden Holloway give them a good backcourt, while Drew Felder rounds out a steady front line. At 19 is the Arizona Wildcats, and they have a two-headed monster in Ivan Karchemlov and Montavious Krivas at 4.88 and 6.77. They do have two freshmen in the starting five. If those spots develop, they could be a top 5 team nationally. The Kansas Jayhawks, they look thinner than they usually do. Their starter, Christian Reeves, he leads the starters, returning at a 4.72. Largely ranked on reputation. Number 21, St. John's Red Storm at 11.52. Ian Jackson and Ruben Prey give them legitimate wings. Tonde Yesalufu at 3.7. 22 is the Arkansas Razorbacks with John Calipari coaching them. Billy Richmond III and Jeremiah Wilkinson give them a credible returning core. At number 23, the USC Trojans at 11 net wins with Eric Reeby and Jacob Kofi anchoring the front court. At number 24, the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jaron Stevenson at 3.06 net wins leads a group that includes no stars. They do have an international player in Alex Samodrov, who they brought in, who's supposed to be good, but we'll see. Total team net wins of 10.51 would basically make them one of the most overranked teams in the country. At number 25, the Missouri Tigers. They're trending up, but their roster is still developing. Bryson Tiller at 3.27 leads the starters, and they're projected to have two freshmen, Jason Crow and Tony Bryant in the starting five. So, what are the big takeaways? Virginia's underrated. Nobody's talking about this team as a national title contender. UConn's back, as we mentioned earlier. Don't count them out. And Nebraska's the biggest sleeper. 22.54 net wins, returning starting five team with Pryce Sandfort leading the way. They're probably going to shock some people in the Big Ten. Kansas and North Carolina look overranked based on reputation. So that is the preview. I'd appreciate it if you'd visit the website and check out the brand new database, which is at willf123.github.io/NBA-net-wins. Thank you.